Have you ever thought about starting a YouTube channel, either to work hand in hand with your business, or maybe you just want to start making videos? Whatever your goals are, there's always one burning question in the back of people's minds, and that is, how much money do people make on YouTube? I'm Shannon and I'm a pet portrait and wildlife artist, and I started this channel as a means to support my small art business. My main goals were to grow my community, reach people outside of the usual social media apps, engage more, and hopefully create a little bit more of a stable income at the same time. I've seen these videos created by lots of bigger YouTubers with thousands of subscribers, but I've not seen that many created by people like me who are very much starting out and have less than 10,000 subscribers. So I'm making this video to hopefully present a more realistic idea of how much money you can make as a small YouTuber. With that being said, in this video I'll be sharing exactly how much money I've made on YouTube in the past year and a half. To begin with, I feel like I should talk a little bit about the content that I create and my personal journey to becoming monetized. I originally created this YouTube channel back in 2019, and my plans were to create some coloured pencil tutorials and art business videos. It's something that I'd been thinking about doing for a long time. It wasn't until April 2020, when the lockdown hit in the UK, that I thought, I have all this time, maybe now I actually need to get on with it and start my channel properly. So I gave myself a little kick up the backside and I filmed my first tutorial video. I have to admit, it was very basic. I sped it up so that I didn't have to actually talk on camera, and I did a voiceover. So it wasn't my best video, but it was how to draw a realistic dog eye in coloured pencils. I was really nervous to post it. I didn't want to embarrass myself and people make fun of me, but I just thought I'm gonna do it anyway. I then continued posting quite sporadically. I didn't really have a regular upload schedule for months until I sat myself down and I said, Shannon, you need to start taking this seriously, otherwise things are never going to change. So in January 2021, I started uploading more frequently. I aimed for once a week, but I just sort of posted as and when I had the time to, around my other tasks that come with a small business. So one thing you need to know is that there are certain criteria you need to hit on YouTube in order to become monetized. That is to have 1,000 subscribers and to have 4,000 hours of watch time. If you hit these criteria, then YouTube will invite you to become one of their partners on the YouTube Partner Program. However, one thing you need to know is those 4,000 hours of watch time need to be within the space of a year. So if you don't hit that milestone within a year, it all starts again and you have to build it from scratch. This may not seem like a lot, I don't know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but in my personal experience, reaching 1,000 subscribers was the easy bit, and then the 4,000 hours of watch time took me a long time. I had this app called YouTube Tracker, and it basically showed you a live update of where you were in your milestones. So I had the column with the subscribers that was always miles ahead of the column with the watch hours. I remember I used to check that app all the time, but it took me 52 videos and one solid year of consistent uploads before I finally hit the 4,000 hours of watch time, and then it became a YouTube partner on the 6th of January 2022. So before I move on to how much money I've made, I just thought I'd give a little bit of advice on how to reach those milestones as quickly as possible. So my first piece of advice is to focus on making longer videos. So to get 4,000 hours of watch time, you need a lot of eyes on your content for as long as possible, and the most obvious way to do that is to make the videos longer. I made a lot of real-time, step-by-step coloured pencil tutorials, which were often 10 videos long in a series, and I think that naturally helped me to build my watch hours up more quickly, because if someone's following along with that tutorial and they start from part 1, they're most likely gonna stick through those videos and watch the whole thing to the end. So that was very helpful to me. If you can create any video series that have more than one video involved, that would be really helpful. That's not to say that you shouldn't make any shorter videos. If you can get your point across in 10 minutes in a really valuable, informative way, then definitely do that. That's going to be more helpful than having a load of filler just for the sake of it to try and make it longer. Which leads me on to my next point, which is to provide value. You should make sure your video is always giving something back to your viewers. So whether that is information, inspiration, or just entertainment, you need to give your viewers a reason to keep watching and coming back to your channel. A lot of us have slightly shorter attention spans these days, so if your video isn't hitting the mark and keeping that viewer watching, then they're probably going to click off. So you need to make sure you're working really hard to make sure your videos are ticking lots of boxes and keeping your viewers interested. That's not to say you need to be an expert in whatever it is you're creating. You don't need to be the most knowledgeable, the most talented, the most interesting person in the world. Oh, fly. But if you know something more than the person watching, then you're already providing value. I'm definitely not an expert at what I do, I don't know the most, but I'm possibly a little bit further ahead in my journey than somebody else. Whatever I can give to bridge that gap in knowledge is valuable. They say the best mentors and leaders are only 2 steps ahead of you because they're not so far removed from where you are now. They've been there themselves quite recently, but they also have that little bit extra knowledge to guide you with. Moving on to number 3, I think it's super important to develop your own style. I've always been really into finding your own personal style, your personal brand. What makes you stand out against all these other people that are trying to do the same thing? If you're a small business owner like me, then you may naturally know a little bit about branding and how important it is. You want your YouTube videos to be instantly recognisable to your subscribers, whether that's through the thumbnail, the camera angles, the music that you use, the colours that you use. Everything should reflect you as a person and what you're trying to portray into the world. I'd like to think that my videos give off quite like a chilled, wholesome, cosy vibe. I don't know, maybe people will think differently, but that's always the vibe that I'm trying to create in my videos. So I always constantly think about this when I'm working on each and every element, whether that is my editing or even my profile photo. Everything is very carefully considered. Also, just on the point of this, please avoid trying to copy other people that are doing something similar to you. You want to avoid trying to replicate their style because firstly, why would you want to do that? That isn't true to yourself. And secondly, there's already somebody that exists doing that. And what sets you apart, what makes you different, it doesn't give people a reason to watch your videos instead of theirs. I think you'd find your audience struggle to connect with you if you weren't being authentic anyway. But yeah, you are your own person, you don't need to copy anyone. I also try and avoid looking at videos of people in the exact same niche as me. I like to look further afield at different creators who do all sorts of stuff like illustration, graphic design, anything that's slightly different that I can draw inspiration from without making my videos exactly the same. So yeah, I think that's a good tip as well. Look further afield than just your niche to get inspiration. Finding your style comes naturally over time anyway, after making lots of videos and seeing what you like and don't like about your previous ones. So don't panic too much if you don't know what your style is just yet. My 4th and final tip is to just get started. The best thing that you can do is just go make your first video. It's probably going to be rubbish. You're probably going to laugh at yourself once you've done it, but these like basic initial videos are what help you to pave the way for the next 10, 50, 100 videos that you make. You're probably going to make loads of mistakes, you're going to hate it, and You might even take that video down one day, but until you've made that initial video, there's nothing to work with. You can't improve if you haven't even started. I look back at my first few videos and I think I could do so much better than that now, but that's the point. They were never going to be good, and each and every time I created a new video, I realised what I needed to do differently and how I could make them better. Also, I don't think you should go buying any fancy equipment just to get started. It probably wouldn't be the wisest idea. I film my videos on my iPhone, and I have got a little camera that I use for my tutorials just because it makes it a lot easier for myself. But it wasn't expensive and I made sure to budget it into my costs. The only reason I would upgrade my equipment is if I was seeing a good enough return on investment and it made good business sense. But for now, I am just sticking to what I have. Being resourceful is one of the best things that you can do. So if you've got an old camera lying around that maybe isn't the best, but it will do for now, just use that, or like me, just use your phone, because phones have incredible cameras these days. To be honest, my phone is better than the little camera that I've got, so yeah, that's saying a lot about them. The quality is really good and I don't have any excuses for not making videos now, because I literally have the perfect camera with me by my side every day. So yeah, back to my original point, just get started. Even if you can only commit to making a video every 2 weeks, a video every month, it's better than nothing, and you are one step ahead of where you were yesterday. Okay, now you're probably sick of me going on about all this stuff, so I'm just going to get to the point and show how much money I have actually made from YouTube with less than 10,000 subscribers in the last year and a half. So I'll go onto the back end of my YouTube channel so that you can see all of my analytics, all the good stuff, and I'll show you how much money I've made. So the grand total between the day I became monetized, which was the 6th of January 2022 and the 6th of June 2023 is, drumroll, $1,822, which is the equivalent of around £1,470. I'm very grateful to have made any amount of money from YouTube, and I think this is really good considering I'm a small YouTuber with less than 10,000 subscribers, and every little helps when you have a small business with expenses and no regular, like, guaranteed monthly income. So yeah, that's obviously the total amount that I've made on YouTube, but the monthly figure comes to about £100, give or take. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, depends on how much I've posted and how many views I've been getting. But yeah, it comes into my bank account directly from Google every month on like the 24th. So it's very reliable and it's one of the only guaranteed bits of income that I get, so it's always nice to know. But yeah, one thing you should know is that you need to hit a threshold every month to get paid. So I think it's $100, which I think it must be about £60, because I've been paid just over £60 into my account before. So your AdSense revenue needs to hit £60 before you actually get paid. And if not, then it rolls over to the next month, and once you've hit that £60, then you'll get it into your account. So yeah, for this reason it took a couple of months for me to get paid, but when I did, it was the best feeling ever, and it was March 2022 and I got paid £81.92 for my first ever paycheck. One last thing I'd like to mention is how YouTube calculate how much you're actually going to earn. So I'm going to show you my analytics once again. And here you can see there is a unit of measurement called CPM, which stands for cost per meal. So cost per meal is the amount of money advertisers are willing to pay for 1,000 impressions or 1,000 views on your video. So to put their ad on your video. So for my top performing video, which is the first part of my Robin coloured pencil tutorial, the CPM is $12.46. So the higher the CPM, the more valuable your video is to advertisers. It means that they're going to get a high return on their investment. It's important to note that this $12.46 per 1,000 views isn't given straight to me. YouTube take a cut of this money, usually around 45%, and what I'm left with is shown in the unit of measurement called RPM. Now, RPM stands for revenue per meal and is the actual amount that you will be paid for 1,000 views or impressions on your video. So for this same video, my RPM is $5.41, which is apparently above average, so average is about $2 to $3. And as you might have noticed, the CPM and RPM differ quite a lot depending on the type of video. So for example, my craft fair vlog has a CPM of $21.82 and an RPM of $11.22. I think this is due to the content of the video being a lot more business oriented. So advertisers in the business sector are probably going to have a larger advertising budget because they're selling high value products and services compared to, say, the beauty or art industry where they're selling more lower priced products, so they'll probably have a lower budget for advertising. So yeah, your CPM can vary greatly depending on other factors such as your audience location and their demographic. So it's completely different for everyone and there's no telling exactly how much your CPM and RPM are going to be. So yeah, this is just something to think about when keeping in mind the content that you're going to create and the return on your investment in terms of time and effort. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I hope this more realistic dive into how much money a YouTuber could actually make has been insightful and helpful. I'm hoping that this video will give you a little push to finally start your channel if you've been thinking about it, or if you're working towards your milestones to become monetized, maybe this will provide a little bit of encouragement to keep going. Let me know in the comments which part of the journey you're at. I'd love to hear your experiences. I'm really excited to see what the future brings for me with YouTube. I feel like it's opened so many doors already. Beyond just the monetization aspect of it, I've been able to do collaborations, meet lots of new people and build a lovely community. So yeah, perhaps in a year's time I'll be sitting down and filming another video like this to show you what the next stage of the journey looks like. But until then, I'm just enjoying the process, which is the most important thing, and having fun making these videos. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a like if you did, it helps me out so much. Subscribe to see more videos like this, and I shall hopefully see you in another one soon. Bye for now.